When people talk about success stories that inspire millions, one name stands out across generations: J.K. Rowling. Her journey from poverty and rejection to becoming one of the most successful authors in history is not just a story about money. It's a story about resilience, belief, imagination, and never giving up. This is the powerful story of how a single mother on welfare created the magical world of Harry Potter and built a billion-dollar empire. Joanne Rowling was born on July 31, 1965, in Yates, England. From a young age, she loved stories. She would write fantasy tales and read them aloud to her sister. Even as a child, her imagination was vivid and limitless. But her life was not magical. Rowling described her childhood as complicated. Her relationship with her father became strained over time, and she often felt misunderstood. Writing became her escape, her safe space. She later studied French and classics at the University of Exeter. After graduation, she worked various jobs, including as a researcher and bilingual secretary. Life was ordinary, far from the legendary success she would later achieve. But destiny was quietly preparing her. In 1990, while traveling on a delayed train from Manchester to London, an idea suddenly came to her. A boy who didn't know he was a wizard and attended a magical school. That boy would become Harry Potter. Rowling later said the idea arrived fully formed in her mind. She didn't even have a pen with her, but the entire world, Hogwarts, spells, friendships, battles, began forming in her imagination. But just as her dream was being born, tragedy struck. Her mother, who had been suffering from multiple sclerosis, passed away in 1990. Rowling was devastated. Her grief deeply influenced the emotional depth of the Harry Potter series, especially the theme of loss. Shortly after, she moved to Portugal to teach English. There, she married and had a daughter. However, the marriage became abusive, and in 1993, she returned to the UK as a single mother with an infant and no stable income. She had no job, no money, no support system, only a manuscript. Rowling has openly spoken about battling severe depression during this period. She described herself as poor as it is possible to be in modern Britain without being homeless. She lived on government assistance. She would take her daughter to cafes because her small apartment was too cold to sit in for long. While her baby slept beside her, she wrote, word by word, page by page. Many people would have quit. She didn't, Rowling once said. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. That mindset is what separates dreamers from achievers. After finishing the manuscript for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Rowling began submitting it to publishers. She was rejected, not once, not twice, but 12 times. 12 publishers told her no. Imagine the doubt, the disappointment, the voice in her head saying, maybe they're right, but she kept going. Finally, a small publishing house, Bloomsbury Publishing, agreed to publish the book in 1997, largely because the chairman's 8-year-old daughter loved the first chapter. Even then, she was advised to get a day job because children's books didn't make money. That advice didn't age well. Once published, the book quickly gained attention. It won awards, word spread. Readers fell in love with the magical world. Soon, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone became a phenomenon. The series expanded to 7 books including Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. The books sold hundreds of millions of copies worldwide. They were translated into over 80 languages. Then came the films. The Harry Potter movie franchise became one of the highest-grossing film series in history. Merchandise, theme parks, spin-offs. The world of Harry Potter became a global empire. And the woman who once relied on welfare became a billionaire. By the early 2000s, Rowling officially became the first author in history to earn over $1 billion from book sales alone. She went from struggling to afford heating to becoming one of the wealthiest women in the United Kingdom. But here's what makes her story even more powerful. She didn't just accumulate wealth, she gave it away. Rowling has donated hundreds of millions of dollars to charities, focusing on children, multiple sclerosis research, and poverty relief. She even lost her billionaire status at one point due to her philanthropy. Success didn't change her heart. What can we learn from J.K. Rowling's journey? 1. Failure is feedback, not final. 12 rejections didn't mean her work was bad. It meant she hadn't found the right door yet. 2. Pain can fuel purpose. Her depression influenced the Dementors in the series, dark creatures that drain happiness. She turned pain into powerful storytelling. 3. Discipline beats motivation. She didn't wait to feel inspired. She wrote in cafes while exhausted and broke. 4. Imagination is a superpower. She created an entire universe from a single train ride idea. If you're building something, a YouTube channel, a business, a dream, her story proves you don't need perfect conditions. You don't need approval from everyone. You don't need immediate success. You need persistence. You need belief. You need action. Rowling once said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all." Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Today, J.K. Rowling is more than just an author. She is a symbol of hope for single parents, struggling artists, people battling depression, and anyone who has heard no too many times. Her story is proof that your current situation does not define your final destination. From rejection letters to red carpets, from food stamps to film premieres, from rock bottom to literary legend. If you are watching this and doubting yourself, remember this: there was once a woman sitting in a cold cafe, scribbling a story about a boy wizard while her baby slept beside her. She had no money, no guarantees, no validation. But she had a dream, and she refused to let rejection decide her future. Your dream might not be about magic, but your persistence can create it. Success is not reserved for the lucky. It belongs to the relentless.